Good morning, Toastmasters. One of the cities that I love to travel is New Orleans. It is 6 hours away from Memphis, and New Orleans is an unusual city. The reason is it is surrounded by water, and it is a city that has been under the sea level. It is below the sea level, and one of the stories that I wanted to tell you about New Orleans today and how it relates to the law of timing. Timing is most critical, especially if you're a leader, right? And a lot of decisions that we make on a regular basis needs a lot of great timing. And let's take a look at like what happened in the city of New Orleans back in 2005. Let's go back to August 2005. That's when the Hurricane Katrina hit this beautiful city. Because it was surrounded by water bodies, if you wanted to go in and outside the city, you need to cross a bridge. And it was a Friday, it's August 25th, 2005. That's when the National Hurricane Center has mentioned that the Hurricane Katrina is traveling towards the city and especially in the Louisiana around the Monday morning. And the city's mayor, Mr. Nagin, here are some of the actions that he has taken and how it impacted the city. Until it was too late, he did not take any action in order to protect the people because he was just waiting and waiting. And a lot of people started evacuating. And it is very difficult for a city if the leadership hasn't taken the right actions at the right time. And it was almost at the end of Saturday. That's when the director of the National Hurricane Center calls Mr. Nagin and said how bad the situation is. And that's when Mr. Mayor started taking the action. And even then, it was too late because when they started evacuation on the Sunday morning, it was less than 24 hours for the people to evacuate the city. And he also advised more people, if they're unable to get out of the city, to get into the nearby shelters in order to protect themselves. He asked to bring bare minimum things. And there you go. On a Monday morning, the rain or the water started getting into the city at around 9 a.m. And within like 24 hours, most of the city is covered with water. And even the actions that they have taken during the last 24 hours that they had barely did not prove to be successful because even those areas that they were present seems to be those areas that were hit very badly. And almost 1,800 people have lost their lives, and 80% of them are from Louisiana. If you look back all these actions, and even from the federal government, at that time, they didn't act on the right time, and it impacted the city and the state as well. So if you look at all these actions, one thing is clear is that you have to take the right actions at the right time. And we have just seen in the case of Louisiana what happened. And there were so many instances that we see on a regular basis, especially if we just working at a company or we are leading a team. People suffer if we don't take the right action at the right time. So let's go through like 4 different stages. What happens, right? So it is not just what and where that we take these actions. It is particularly when we take these actions make a big impact. So what happens if we take a wrong action at the wrong time, right? Again, We have just seen what happened in this particular scenario. And let's say wrong, the right action, but at the wrong time, right? What happens in that scenario? We'll have a lot of resistance, isn't it? Now we see a lot of teams and how leaders try to take the action, but at the wrong time. And again, the team members suffer, isn't it? Now, what happens if we take the other way around? The right, wrong action, right action at the wrong time. Again, we see a lot of entrepreneurs, especially taking in this scenario. When a lot of entrepreneurs seems to be having this intuitive ability of understanding when to push hard in order to make the best out of everything, right? You see a lot of entrepreneurs doing big. And the final thing is the right action at the right time. There are so many instances that we have seen in the history. What happens when the leaders have taken the right action at the right time? That's when miracles happen, right? Especially if you take the leadership of Winston Churchill and so many great leaders that we have seen in the history. And these are some of the lessons that we can learn. And this is something that we are going to learn. And I'm not saying that like a lot of times we all take actions at the right time, but our experiences teaches us a lot of different things. And we, as fellow members of the society, of teams, of companies, needs to be aware of the surroundings and what impact our actions make in the lives of others. That will keep us thinking. And so let's take the right decisions at the right time as much as possible to make an impact to people around us. Thank you so much.